good. Let's go ahead and kick the call off. Again, guys, we're going to dive right into the content, but appreciate everybody taking the time to hop on the call today. My name's Joe Johnson. I'm going to be your host today. I'm with Jimmy Hernandez, agency director, tax advisor, and Jimmy, what's your other title? Sorry.
I'm a fiduciary, a financial advisor,
Financial advisor. I knew it's something really important, and you got a lot of credentials and bring so much value to the team. I apologize. I had a brain fart there for a second. But guys, thank you so much for hopping on the call. We're going to get right into our content. I just have like two real quick announcements. Let me go through that. We're continuing with our countdown to Christmas, so keep in mind 20 days left. There's still plenty of time to go out there and produce and get commissions. We got a lot of carriers that do express pay. Mutual of Omaha comes to mind. I know if you write a deal with them today and it gets approved, there's a good chance by Tuesday you'll have money in your bank account, if not sooner. So they're very, very quick to easy to work with, and that express pay really helps out, especially when you're trying to get some commissions in. So let's make a big push, man. We still got 20 days before Christmas, and let's make a big push and make our Christmases very, very special. And then one other announcement, we're going to have, I think, 2 more webinars, but just as a reminder, obviously Christmas falls on a Friday this year, as January the 1st. So for obvious reasons, we're not having our Friday call on Christmas or New Year's Day. Okay, so just as a quick reminder. And with that, Jimmy, let me go ahead and I know you've got a lot of content prepared for us, so let's dive right in. I'm gonna go ahead and put up the quotes that you sent me over, and with my pleasure, I'm gonna turn the call over to you, sir. Very good. Jimmy, are you there? Uh-oh, what happened? Jimmy says you're self-muted. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, you're good.
Okie dokie. All right. Well, good morning, Senior Solutions. I'm so excited about what I'm going to share with you today. You know, I'll just start with this quote right here. It's from Farrah Gray, who has done really well. He's actually out of your area, Joe, in Chicago. And he says, comfort is the enemy of achievement. See, how many times do we say and have told y'all to get out of your comfort zone, right? And if you look at the little chalkboard there on the top, it says your comfort zone is here, but here's where all the magic happens, right? So you got to get out of your comfort zone, and that's what I want to talk about today. Right now in the holiday season, I don't know what it is about December, but every year it surprises me how much business we write. And already this month, we got some big numbers. And so, are you going to get your piece of the pie, right? Get out of your comfort zone. I really, I guess, like want to kind of talk about my experience this week. And the reason why I say that is, I haven't actually been in the field in a while. My personal practice has kind of transitioned a little different direction. But as an agency director, I still work with agents, and we have a brand new agent that I worked with in the field this week. His name is Jack, and we're going to have him on at the end of the call, just to kind of as a testimonial. But what I really want to impress upon you is that during the holiday season, everybody wants money so that they can have enough to make sure that they take care of their bills, and they can have a nice holiday season. They can buy gifts, and it sucks if you're broke during the holidays, right? So how can my plan today is, how can you make money, let's say quick and in a hurry, and get paid in time for Christmas. That's really the focus of today's call. And there's so much out there that's out of your control in business. And when you create a vision for the future and drive it with specific actions that are within your control, you're putting the odds in your favor for success, and you're lowering that risk of being at the mercy of those things that are beyond your grasp. And so I want to go ahead and transition into the next slide, Joe. And I want to talk about what's going on in the field in COVID environment. So, I have a brand new agent. We went ahead at my, I guess you can say, advice. I said, look, let's get you some age leads. So we went to the age lead store and we bought 140 something leads, Jack.
Yes,
100.
that's right.
Say hello to everybody, Jack.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jack, and nice to meet you. I'm brand new agent on board, and I'm really very excited to be here.
So we have 147 leads we purchased in that second category that you see Joe highlighted there. They're 31 to 85 days old. They cost $1.50 a piece, right? And so I told Jack, put that on your credit card. So he put it on his credit card. He got the leads. We got them instantly, right? Now, here's the thing. These are internet leads, right? So I just want to clarify what we're working with. These are not direct mail leads, and they're not necessarily final expense leads. Some of these leads are for term quotes, right? Some of them for high face amounts. But out of this,
Jimmy, can I interject something real quick?
go ahead.
Okay, so here's the thing about internet leads is that when a person goes onto the internet and they request a quote, they always request for term insurance every time. So when you see, all I'm saying for someone who has never worked internet leads before, like this, and you buy your leads and you get your spreadsheet and you'll see, oh, everyone's looking for term insurance. I'm just telling you, don't even worry about it. They're looking for insurance, but it's like the default is everybody always clicks term insurance when they're doing that.
Okay. So we got our leads, and then I guess let's go ahead and go to the next slides. So a part of being prepared and doing this effectively is you want to route your leads, right? You don't want to be driving from one side of town to another and back and forth. You want to put them in a systematic order that makes sense, right? I use an app called Road Warrior. And so Road Warrior has this template to upload those leads, right?
Oh, you mean keep on the template here?
Well, yeah, let's just stay on the template for a second. So when you get the leads from the Age Lead Store, they come on a spreadsheet and they come with a ton of information. What's cool is they got the name, they have their address, they have about 3 or 4 different phone number lines. Like, in other words, it might have cell phone, it might have home phone, it might have landline, might have work phone, whatever those people plugged in, you're seeing all those numbers, their email address. It even offers height and weight, what type of insurance they requested, how much coverage, right? So to route them out, you just need these that are green and bold on top. So you're just going to copy and paste into Excel, right? And then on the far right, you can see that little beige area. Those are like optional. The only thing I put over there are going to be notes. So maybe like an apartment number or something like that in the notes. You could also put the quote amount. So that, like, if they ask for 50,000, just put 50,000 in the notes. But anyway, you upload it and then it puts it in the Road Warrior. And Road Warrior, you have an app on your phone, and then you download it to your phone, right? I mean, like, it syncs to your phone instantly. So once it's on your phone, you go to that route. You got 2 views. You have a overall, like a map view with pins, right? And then you have a list view. And I usually work from the list view, but you're gonna want to put where you want to start and where you want to end. right? So you put your starting position, your ending position, and you hit optimize, and it puts them all in order. And then you just start with number one. That's your first stop, and you go in order, right? And what's really cool is not only does it give you navigation, and by the way, the navigation, you're able to set that up with whatever app you want. If you like Apple Maps or Google Maps or Waze or whatever app you use, it'll use your app, and it puts it in order. And then, like, if you get to somebody's house, and let's say, for example, there's a big fence in the front yard, and you can't really get to the door to knock on it. I saved the phone number in there, so I can just from RoadWarrior just click on phone, and it actually calls them right then and there. And I call and let them know I'm out front. If they don't answer, I get a voicemail. I honk my horn, right? Now, guys, I have a whole tutorial that we've recorded about RoadWarrior. So if you want to know more about it, how to do it, go look that up. It's on our YouTube site. But here's the thing. We put everything in order, and we went out to go work those leads, right? And so I want to kind of talk to you about the COVID environment. I was really surprised because this is the first time that I've actually door knocked in COVID, and I was so surprised at the reaction. I was anticipating that people were going to be standoffish. I was anticipating like a lot of rejection because why are you here? It's COVID. I don't want to get sick. I don't want you in the house. I even took a digital thermometer that you can scan your forehead and show it to them. Like, I was prepared for all of that. That's not the experience that we had this week. It was very welcoming, very I mean, I'm telling you, we didn't have one ugly person out there, Joe. It was very, very like
Awesome.
down to earth. And in my opinion, after going out, I think what it is I think COVID has really brought the realization that tomorrow is not promised to anybody. Everybody's heard that saying before, but I think it's hitting home because people are starting to know other people that died from COVID. Myself, I know 4 people that have died so far, and one that nearly died that was in great health. And so COVID is not a joke. Seniors are concerned about it, and final expenses is on the forefront of their mind. And so when you go out there and knock on their door, I'm telling you, it's just a different kind of reaction. Yes, we wore masks, right? But it was a very warm and welcoming. So I want to talk a little bit about strategy here for a second. So what's our next slide, Joe?
We have the email that you send out.
Okay, let's hold off on that. Let's just stay here for a second. So let's talk about these internet leads, and I want to tell you how to market it, right? These are not people that requested the information in the mail. They're not requesting the free memorial guide, right? They're not necessarily requesting final expense, right? But they went online to get a quote. Put yourself in that mindset. Anybody that shops online, they're looking for ease. They're looking for life insurance easy. They're looking for think of it as like this. When you go to shop online, like let's say I use Amazon. If you're an Amazon shopper, what makes it great or appealing to me is the convenience of not having to talk to a salesman, not having to listen to a presentation. I can browse, find what I'm looking for, read the description, decide if that price is right. I'm going to buy it. It's going to ship to me. Low hassle, right? People that are buying online, that's what they want. What do they want? They're looking for a quote, okay? So I'm telling you this because your approach on prospecting has to match that online shopper. You don't want to go through the traditional final expense script. It's not going to work, right? So here's the thing. You want to start with the low-hanging fruit. So I'm going to have a 3-step approach. The first one is the low-hanging fruit, get them on the phone. You have their number, give them a call. And then you want
Hey, Jimmy, I don't know if you can hear me. You're breaking up a little bit.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I lost like the last 2 or 3 sentences. You talked about low-hanging fruit and giving them a call, if you could pick up there.
Okay, so giving them a phone call, you want to change your prospecting a little bit. You don't want to use the traditional final expense script, right? Because they didn't fill out a card and mail it in. They requested this online. So this is what I put together. Hi, my name is Jimmy. I'm with Senior Solutions. Um, I'm just here to give you the quote that you requested for life insurance. It looks like you requested $20,000, and pause and let them respond. Okay. After the response, you take it from there. Let's say the response is something like, "Oh, well, when did I do that?" Or, "Oh, yeah." Say, "Hey, like whatever let's say the rejection is or the objection is on their part, your answer is just, look, I'm just simply calling you to give you the quote you requested. Do you mind if I ask you a couple questions? Non-threatening questions, like what's your current age, right? Are you a tobacco user? Simple questions. You don't need to go through 15 or 20 underwriting questions. Just get some basic questions in there. You might ask, do you have any health concerns? As an open-ended question to explore any avenue that might come up, right? Um, always assume on a quote, always assume the best rate possible. So if nothing comes up, you're going to quote them the preferred or the level rate. Just give them the best price. Um, Once you start in the application and you get diving in deeper, well, then you can address those issues, but you're not going to be able to make the sell diving in that deep that quick. So again, you're just trying to engage your client, um, and then just take it from there. Now, the one big rebuttal that you might get is, "Oh, I already got life insurance." I ask, "Well, did you just get that recently?" They probably did because they're online requesting it, right? Within the last 90 days. So then, in a non-threatening way of asking questions, you don't want to interrogate them. You want to ask in a conversational way, "Oh, well, which company did you get? And how much coverage did you get? Or how much premium is it?" But you want to ask in a conversational way, right? So let them answer each one before you go on to the next question. Don't drill them. Gather that information. Then you might want to say, "Well, are you interested if I give you a quote? Maybe I might be able to save you a lot of money," right? Think about Progressive and Geico and all these car insurance companies. That's what they talk about, saving you 15%, right? Well, if I can save you, a lot of money, would you be interested? And all you're trying to do is get your foot in the door and give them a quote. And once you give them the quote and you engage them, now you're able to explore those other avenues, right? So my first approach, Joe, is to call everybody on the list. The second one is to go out and door knock. So I would suggest, scheduling one day you're going to be on the phone at home and all you're going to do is make phone calls. You're looking for that low hanging fruit, right? And then the second day you're going to get out there and you're going to door knock, maybe door knock 3 days in a row, right? And then get out there and you're basically going to say the same thing. So when we were knocking on doors, all I simply said is, "Hi, my name is Jimmy. I'm with Senior Solutions." And I hand them my business card with my picture on it. And nobody was scared to take it. Nobody was scared that they're going to contract COVID because I gave them my card. Everybody reached for it, right? They looked at it. And I just simply said, "The reason why I'm here is you requested an insurance quote for, 50,000, and I'm just here to provide you that quote. You got a minute?" And it was that simple, Joe. I mean, non-threatening. I'm here to give you a quote. Again, if they came up with the objection and I already have it, I just went into the same thing. "Oh, really? Who did you get it with? Did you get that recently?" And the same scenario. If I can save you some money, I can just give you a quote real quick. You got a minute? And it was that simple, Joe.
Yeah.
Um, so I want to touch on the last one, which is email. Okay, so if you can pull that slide up. So let's say you go out there, you door knock them, you call them, you have their email because this is an internet lead. Lastly, you should send out an email. And this is just a sample that I put together. You can see the Senior Solution logo is on there on the bottom. Maybe you move that towards the top. I don't know. But it just says under the subject line, life insurance quote. I'm hoping to grab their attention because obviously they're interested in life insurance. Make it personal. Don't go out there and blind copy everybody the same message. Good morning, Joe. My name is Jimmy Hernandez. I'm a licensed agent with Senior Solutions. Here's the quote you requested for $20,000. Mutual of Omaha, Booyah, Senior Solutions works with many of the top-rated insurance companies and are known for making life insurance easy, right? I have included the illustration, and if you have any questions, please let me know. My contact information is below. If you'd like to schedule an appointment with me, kindly use this link. I use this service. It's called Calendly. You can go to calendly.com. I pay $15 a month for it. People click my link. It's synced to my calendar. They can check my availability and they can book the appointment right off that link. And it works. I don't even talk to people. I send them emails, and next thing I know, they're on my calendar for an appointment. So
Awesome.
Let's go ahead and show them the illustration, Joe. So
just real quick on, I don't want to get into the whole thing on Calendly, but does it send them a reminder?
oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
If they initiate the call or the appointment, they plug in their email and their phone number. So not only does it send them an email reminder, but it also sends them a text reminder. So that's pretty cool. So guys, maybe you know, maybe you don't know, but Living Promise, you can get an actual illustration. I know when you're in the field, you don't need to do it, right? But if you're doing this over the internet and you're sending an email, I'm giving them the quote right up front, and then I'm attaching a very professional illustration. I just screenshotted two pages, the cover page that shows how nice that is with the logo and Living Promise and my agent information. And then on the right, it shows right there, Living Promise, level death benefit, $65.27 a month. And then it, goes on to show that, the cash value and all of that stuff. I guarantee you, if you do this, people are going to take you serious. It's different. You're not just mass emailing somebody, and they see the difference. So they can, call you. They can respond via email. They can just reply. And so again, we're looking for low-hanging fruit. If you have one person that you make a sell to via the internet on a email, that one sell pays for those leads. If you make one sell over the phone, it pays for the leads. If you make one sell door knocking, it pays for the leads because they're so cheap. Jack, how much did you pay for those leads total? 200 and what? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was a ballpark around there, about 150 to 200 for the leads. And I could say that the system works. The system works. I started out. Yeah.
So we're going to interview in a second, but okay. So I thought you paid about 235. No, for 147.
Yeah, I might be. I got 150 leads, and I've worked 16 out of the 150.
So he's worked 16 out of those 147 leads. Joe, let's go to the next screen. Let's show him his production. I don't know if that's.
Okay. Hang on one second. Give me 1 second to pause the screen and then fast forward to that. There you go.
Okay, so this was Jack's production this week. So he wrote 4 applications. The monthly is on the left. The annualized premium is there in the middle, and then his compensation is on the right. 3 of those were Living Promise. That second one for $80.98 was an IULE, so compensation was a little bit lower on that one. And then there's his total compensation, $28.68. and his advance commission on that is $2,100. First week in business, not bad.
Not bad for a new guy that brand new to the company, and I mean, almost literally almost instantaneous results from working aged leads. You know what I mean? Like aged, not just aged leads, but aged internet leads. So awesome.
So before we kind of interview Jack, I want to touch on one last thing, and I want to talk about working these leads. I want you to keep in perspective what your objective is, okay? Your objective is to give them a quote or book an appointment. That's your objective, right? You don't need to like start going into the whole spill. You want to get into the door, and getting in the door is giving them that quote. If you caught them at a bad time, book an appointment. The other thing I want to focus on is you want to be a pulling agent. You want to pull your customer. You want to engage them into the conversation. And you engage people by asking questions, okay? You don't want to be the pushy agent by just talking. If it's you doing all the talking and they're not doing any talking, if you catch yourself in that, you're pushing. You're just telling them all kinds of stuff as why you should get in, right? But you have to engage and ask the question. And I want to guarantee you one thing. If you never give somebody a quote, you're not going to sell them anything. That's a guarantee, right? So your goal is to always give them a quote, right? So don't think that because it's not going the way you wanted to get in and you're going to withhold the quote so that you're forcing the appointment, that's going to work. That's not going to work. Give them the quote. That's what's going to get you in. Trust me on that. So, Joe, I don't know if you want to elaborate on that before we bring Jack on to interview him.
Let me just say something. Yes, I've made tons of sales with people that have told me, oh, I'm not really interested. Maybe later. Well, just kind of blew me off. I said, well, and especially when I'm already there, I said, listen, I'm already here. I said, let me just give you a free quote. Doesn't cost you nothing. At 2 seconds. What the beauty is that you've got everything on your phone. So it's not like you gotta like go to your car, open up a laptop. I mean, boom. I mean, you're standing right there with the client. You could do it over the phone or face to face. But that's one thing that's helped me and say, well, listen, it only takes a second. Since you got me on the phone, I'm here anyway. Let me at least give you a free quote. It'll take 2 seconds. Boom. I mean, how long does it take you to pull the app up on your phone? About less than 5 seconds. Give them the quote. Grant Cardone always says, is it like what Jimmy says, you'll never sell anybody that you don't give a proposal. Give every client a proposal, whether they want one or not. And we used to do this, I'm sure back in the days of selling mobile homes and cell phones, Jimmy, and when I was in the car business, that was our philosophy. Even if they were just there for a test drive, say, let me give you some numbers. Let me just, even if you say, I'm not really interested, not today, hey, no problem. It'll only take a second. Let me show you how easily you can, afford this. Give them the numbers, and you'll be surprised when people see the numbers. Then they start asking questions. Well, that's not bad. Well, how much would it be for this? Or, it can, once you give them the quote, it leads you down a different pathway. So always give everybody a quote.
Can I add on something like that? Joe's
Yeah.
referring to me. I used to sell mobile homes, and we're talking about in the late 90s, early 2000s. And I worked for a very large company, very well known, and they had a system, right? And here's what's funny, Joe, is their system was you had to do all of the qualification, and you had to take them through the story of the company and the story of the product, and like it was this long drawn out thing before you gave anybody a quote. Now that worked for some folks, but I learned right away that some people, they just want to, they don't want to do all of it. They just want to know how much does it cost, right?
Yeah.
And so And we would get in serious trouble if we skip steps, right? So like you were not allowed to give a quote. So I noticed that people would not come into the office. They would go through the side gate to avoid salespeople, right? And I already knew those were the people that don't want to go through the whole rigmarole, right? I would sneak out the back door with a clipboard and act like I was doing inventory, and I would greet them. I would take my keys and walk them through the homes, and I would pitch them right there in the house and give them the quote. We'd be walking inside and I was already writing up the deal, and I didn't do the whole thing, you know?
Yeah.
And they were always so mad at me, but they couldn't stay mad, right? Because I had a deal. And I was always one of the top, if not the top producer month after month, because I used that philosophy. Give them a quote. And that's the same thing that I'm reverting back to now, is just offer them the quote. Hey, I came because you asked for the money. Think about this mindset. Brian McCann has, preached this to us, is that you have to have the mindset that they solicited you for the information. When you go to their house, you're not soliciting them. They solicited you. And that's the mindset that I have. I'm here because you asked for this quote, and I'm here to give you what you asked for. Plain and simple, right? That's my mindset. Of course, I have to deliver that to them in a more smoother fashion, but that's the mindset that you have to have. And when you have that mindset, people are more receptive and they're more likely to work with you. They're going to engage. So I don't know if you want to add to that, Joe, but I do want to introduce Jack. Jack Priolo. I've been knowing Jack for a long time, and I've been trying to get him to come on board for a long time. I'm talking years, right? And circumstances are what they are. Jack has been a taxi driver, and with Uber kind of working its way into that market. You've seen his business gone down, and then with COVID. So Jack got licensed just recently. I'm going to say within probably the last month and a half, he got his license. And, this was his very first week out in the field. So we got a brand new rookie agent. And so Jack, scoot in over here, Jack.
Sure.
So Joe, I'll let you start with the interview.
All right, perfect. All right, guys. Well, listen, it's my pleasure to bring on the phone. This is kind of cool because Jack is at Jimmy's home office, but Jack is, we're going to announce him as a first-time producer. And also, Jack is, he's our highlighted, he's our agent of the week. I've had an opportunity to speak with Jack. Yes, a big applause for Jack being agent of the week, man. Came out swinging. The one thing I love about Jack is from the very beginning, when Jimmy, you first introduced me to him and we had an opportunity to make a call, was his pure enthusiasm for wanting to get going and wanting to make money in this business. And what I have found is that a lot of times, and I'm sure you've seen this in mobile home sales. I've seen it in car sales and maybe phone sales, and even with the insurance agent sales, is that some agents, I'll preface it this way, seem to do really, really good in the beginning because they're running off pure enthusiasm and adrenaline. Like they don't know what the hell they're doing, but they're just doing it. They listen, they do what we recommend, and they're just have so much energy and enthusiasm. And then sometimes it happens like 90 days later, they get really, really smart. they start trying to figure out shortcuts and all this other stuff, and their business dips down, and then we got to make some correction and it goes back up. So Jack, my as we start this interview, my biggest advice I can give you as a new agent is that you've got the momentum, you've got the enthusiasm. Don't lose that enthusiasm and energy level. Just keep out and just keep doing what you're doing. But we're very, very proud of you. And these numbers I mean, for a brand new guy to the agency that, um, really doesn't have any experience selling final expense insurance, to go from driving a taxi and an Uber to go out and essentially almost make, $3,000 in commission. I know your advance commission is going to be over 2,000 this week, and of course, if you annualize that, that's over $100,000 a year gross. Obviously, you got expenses and things like that. But Jack, we're very proud of you, and glad to have you on the team. I do have just a few questions, if you don't mind. And one
No,
is just kind of tell us about what your initial, what your experience was this week being able to go out with Jimmy, and I'd like to kind of hear that a little bit, and then that will kind of give me some information where maybe I can ask some better questions. Okay.
sure, no problem, Joe.
All right, Jack, go ahead, sir. The floor is yours.
All right. So, well, thank you for welcoming me, Joe. And so, I went from the taxi business, like you guys were saying, and I was paying much more for the service to get customers in the cab. I was paying $250 a week for the dispatch system, where the computer kicks out the customers into the, so and plus I have to drive there, pick them up, take them to their destination. That's another story, but I was paying $250 a week just for the dispatch system. So that's $1,000 a month. You know, I got to make 250 before I start making any money.
Yeah.
And so I spent, ballparking, like Jimmy said. I just wanted to buy the leads. I said, let's buy the leads. I need to get started. I opened up the business account, and so I bought the leads on a credit card, and it already paid for itself. So next week when I get my commission, I'll just go there. I got 2,100 in my account. I'll go there and pay the credit card. So I'm back down to so it's a big difference in return on the Age Lead Store, and I didn't even work not even a percent of the total leads. I mean, we only door knocked 16 people that day out of the 140 or 150 that we bought. So, and he did that road warrior for me, and he kind of started, door knocking and speaking to the customers and to the potential client, and so I'm listening to what you guys are saying. I'm following the system. I'm trying to do it to the T, and learn as I go. I'm trying to learn as I go. You can't learn everything, and like the saying goes, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? Am I right?
Yeah, there you go.
So I mean, I'm learning as I go, and if I get, and I actually did one yesterday. I went to the customer that we door tagged with the yellow tag. She called us that same day. Hey, I'm here. I'm home now. This and that. Can you all come back? And so we were already, doing an application with the other lady, and and as a matter of fact, she told us, what, just let's save it for Thursday, which was yesterday. And I went on that one on my own. I got in my door. I got in the door, and I was a little shaky. But I've been looking at the videos at the modules that you all have on that training for how to do the presentation with the flip chart. I had to get all that and wait for my kit, and I did the kit. I'm doing exactly what you guys tell me to do. I got the
Yeah,
kit.
keep in mind, make sure everybody knows that you ordered your new agent starter kit, so you have all the tools. So Jack, what's been so far your experience in the home, and out of the clients that you have seen, how, like, overall, I mean, with the COVID going on, how receptive were you guys? And talk about, I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but talk about your approach at the door. How did you guys get in? Were you wearing masks? Did you wear masks in the houses? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure, Joe. Well, what I did with the lady yesterday, with my client yesterday, I kind of like knocked on the door, right? I knocked on the door. I approached the door, and I knocked on the door. I had my face mask on my chin. That way
Okay.
she can see my face. She did, because if you can't recognize the face, and she's behind the closed like a screen, so you're not really, you know, face to face. She's behind the glass door. And so, I had my face mask on my chin. And as soon as she opened the door, I covered my face and I told her I just wanted to see what I looked like. And then she saw my ID. I'm wearing my badge out in the open. Well, she can just look at that, but it's she can just look at my badge. But, then I introduced myself. My name is Jack Priolo. I'm an agent with Senior Solutions. And I went from there. And oh no, yeah, come on in. She had the door tag, so she let me in. And I'm breaking the ice right now. I'm breaking the ice, but I was a little because it's my first one on my own.
Right.
This week I went door knocking. I think it was on Monday we went, right? Tuesday. We went door knocking on Tuesday, and he kind of helped me with writing it up, and I was looking at it. I was looking at what he was doing, and then I studied it afterwards. But this one I did it on my own. This client, I did. I asked her the questions, the health questions, and you guys say what you guys say. I'm doing. If we need to bother you, I'm gonna bother you. And I must have texted Jimmy like 4 or 5 times. And Joe, I think I bothered you with one. Well, I didn't bother you, but I texted you because Jimmy actually had a client of his, and he wasn't, he couldn't. I guess he couldn't respond to me right away. So I sent you a text to help me out with one, and that was a personal one. Jimmy didn't. That wasn't even a lead. That was my next door neighbor, which
Right.
is a friend of my wife's, that they work at the same business. She was looking for insurance. She found out that I'm an agent, and I didn't even sell her a living promise. I ended up selling her the IULE.
Yeah.
So that one was like a freebie. That wasn't even on the list. But I think I called you, Joe, right? I sent you a couple of messages. You guys quickly responded and helped me out. So it's like a learning as I go. That's the way I'm gonna approach it. If I gotta call you guys or I gotta text you, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna, I need to break the ice and get more comfortable. So the more I do it, the smoother, and it works. I mean, I'm just excited to be on board, and I'm gonna go at it.
So one thing I wanted to say is like Jack, he was so excited. You can tell that he has the enthusiasm, but he's also very nervous, right? So like he's talking a lot, right? And so I kept telling him, slow down, chill out a little bit,
Yeah.
So like this, just be aware of that if you're a new agent, because you don't have us there in person, monitoring what's going on, but just kind of remind yourself to slow down, take it easy. Again, this is not rocket science. I have the philosophy that I'm just sifting wheat. That's all I'm doing. I'm looking for the folks that are interested. I'm going to catch some people at the right time in their life where it's important to them. And all I'm doing is looking for those folks. I don't believe that I'm going to say any kind of magical words that's going to totally persuade somebody to buy from me or to let me in the house to do a presentation if they're not ready for it. You know what I'm saying? So like your job is just to get out there and start offering the quotes and give them the quotes. If they're interested, right? But if you do it, the numbers fall in your place. So we got 3 in the field out of 16 door knocks, Joe.
Yep, plus a freebie.
Yeah, and these were $1.50 leads, right, Jack?
Yep. Yes, sir. Yeah,
Now, let's just
$1.50.
reiterate, these are not like, $30, $40 direct mail leads. These are $1.50 internet lead that have already been sold to another agent. So other people have had an opportunity. These are leads that were sold new and then they're resold on the open market later because they're not exclusive. So kudos.
Perfect.
What's that?
And they're not perfect. So I just want to kind of set the right mindset. Like there's probably 3 or 4 people when we went to their house, they're like, oh, they don't live here anymore. I've been here for 8 years.
Yep.
Stuff like that, right? So like it wasn't really a good lead. So I mean, we had our share of that, right? But see, some people, they get all caught up on the negative.
Right. Yeah.
You're sifting wheat. You're just looking for the opportunity. You
Yeah,
know,
it's like a prospector. You're panning for gold, man.
there you go.
And so yeah, and well, just a couple of things on, yeah, you're talking about the leads are not perfect. Just keep in mind that these are cheap leads, but the aged lead store will totally refund you for any bad leads. So
Okay.
I know they're only $1.50, but if you get leads that are, they have a bad phone number, they don't live there anymore, whatever, all you got to do is contact them and they'll replace the lead for you.
Yep, yep. So,
Um, okay, so very good, man. Well, here's the thing. Here's my big takeaway is that, Jack, we've hired agents. When did you contract with us?
October, mid-October, give or take. I would have to look it up, but it's, yeah, middle right away. As soon as I got my license, I let Jimmy know. He started helping me out, setting it up, everything, you know. So mid-October.
and you know, it took a long time to get him his actual producer number. We've been waiting for
That's what
years.
I mean. I mean, he might have started then, but as far as how long have you actually had writing numbers?
Oh, about 2 weeks maybe.
Yeah, well, I'm with three. I'm with
Yeah.
Mutual, Real Neighbors,
Yeah, we
and
got agents that we've hired in like in the summer that are still getting ready to get ready.
yeah, no,
So
that's yeah.
the point is that what I am appreciating from this conversation is that you realized you have you had the wherewithal to know that you're not going to know everything. You don't need to know everything. It's never going to be the perfect situation. You just got to go out there and do it. And just think, Jack, just think about this. Tell me, and I know you studied at least a week or two before, but how much more did you learn in the last 4 days of just being out into the field? How like eye-opening was that?
Well, yeah, well, I could say that, you know, I mean, the more you do it, the easier it gets, you know. That's the my mentality, you know. I have to go do it, you know. This is what I do today. This is what I do now. You know, I left that other business, and this is what I do now, and I have to take the action to go actually and do it. So I mean, it's just gonna be a learn as I go, you know. I mean, Jimmy gave me the, you know, like the warm up, you know. He kind of showed me how to go about it, and you know, you know, I caught on, and now it's my turn to go out there, knock on the doors, and be brave about it. Don't be, you know, I think there's a, don't be a secret agent. The people have to know that you're an agent, you know, and I'm an agent. So, you
Yeah, I
know, I
like
mean, I have
that.
to
Don't
get
be a
my name
secret
out there.
agent.
I have to go out there and door knock, and I have to call people. And this is what my job today. So this is what I have to do, and I'm gonna do it. I'm utilizing the tools that you guys provide, and I mean, I'm still learning. Learn as I go. Like I said, I still got to do some more modules that you sent me, Joe. Personally, you sent me some videos and I'll get to them. But you know, that's between, like you said, and I'm listening to you guys because I think you guys said in a meeting that, you know, you study between 4 and 6 a.m. or 10 to 12 at night. So everything you guys say, I'm listening to, you know. So I'm not gonna study during the action time. I'm gonna study then during the time that it's time to study. Am I right?
That's right.
So you
You're
know,
you're a smart guy. Jimmy, did you have any more questions for Jack? There's just one quick thing I wanted to cover, but I don't want to interrupt the interview because it's going
Oh,
so well.
well, well, let me ask you this, Jack. Before we went out, were you scared of door knocking? Did you have like nervous? How did you feel prior to actually doing it?
well, I mean, a little bit. I was a little,
Mhm.
because not knowing how to approach,
Right.
how to what you say at the beginning, you know. So it's just a learning curve, you know. But I felt a
And
little nervous, and I was open ears,
and
open ears and closed mouth, and listen to what you say. And
and now that you actually done it, do you feel a little bit better?
oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, I feel, confident, and I can approach the door. I'm presentable. I got my name tag,
Yeah.
and I go up there, and this is what we do, and we're here to provide a service,
So
for the customer, for the client, So
so what I want to like just impress upon the agents that are on this call, if you're new, right? I started with getting out of your comfort zone. because that's all it is. See, if you have the fear to get out in the field, right, of door knocking, that fear is going to prevent you from being successful. So get out of that comfort zone. And, unfortunately, not everybody's going to have the opportunity to field train with myself or Joe in person. Myself, when I came on board with Senior Solutions, I did not have a field trainer, right? I had to do it by myself. And so I just want to encourage you is just to get over the fear and just get out there and do it, because there's nothing special or magical that Jimmy or Joe does, right? We just follow the system. Once you calm down a little bit and your nerves calm down, and you actually start doing it and you get a little bit more comfortable, you'll see that it's really not all that difficult. And there's not a lot of complexity to selling life insurance. In my opinion, there's really two main components: a death benefit and a premium, and that's it. I mean, the rest is personality. So I'm gonna turn it over to you, Joe.
Awesome, dude. Well, Jack, we're very proud of you, sir, and look forward to working with you in the future for many, many years. Okay.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you so much. Thanks for everything and all the help.
All right, buddy. Well, guys, just a couple of things before we're going to wrap things up. Just going to end the call with two things. One is something that I copied and pasted off of. I think I got this little thing post off of Facebook. But you guys that know me know I'm a huge fan of Grant Cardone. I've done some mentoring with him, not individually, but in a small setting. Have gone to a couple of his 10X conferences, and Jimmy and I saw him in Chicago at the big insurance show 2 years ago. So, but I just thought this was kind of cool, and it kind of goes and echoes with, I thought it was appropriate with what Jimmy was talking about earlier about don't let the circumstances that are going on in today's world, don't let those circumstances control your life. Okay, there are certain things that are going on that you can't control. You can't control COVID, you can't control the economy, but what you can control is your own personal attitude and your own personal activity. Those are the things that I can control. That's what keeps me motivated every day, because I know I'm in control of my own destiny, and I'm not going to let the media and the negativity out there control me. So I like what this says, is that it just says complaining is not a strategy, whining is not a strategy, bitching is not a strategy, excuses are not a strategy, patience is not a strategy, doing nothing is not a strategy. 10X actions is the strategy that will never fail you. And if you don't know what 10X action is, that's our philosophy of massive action equals massive results. In other words, whatever you're doing, 10X it. Do it to the 10th degree. Take it, set huge goals, especially activity goals. And activity will never fail you. And that's why we always tell new agents is like, listen, now I know we're showing Jack's numbers, but what's more impressive is what was the activity to produce those numbers. And that's one thing as an agent, I always focused on what my activity numbers were, not the production, because I always knew, and this is before I didn't even know what 10X was, but now I understand. I didn't realize I was already kind of, sort of doing 10X before I knew what 10X was. Is that focus on the activity? Is that activity is king? Action, 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 and it will never fail you. And the thing about it is what we're trying to impress upon you is that it's not too late. Don't give up on 2020. It's not too late. There's plenty of time between now and the end of the year. You got how many would it be? 26 days before the end of the year. There's leads that you can get, that you can go out and get instant results. I just talked to an agent yesterday. Jimmy, you remember you met Tendai at one of our Dallas meetings, right?
Yep.
And very hardworking guy, and he's been working hard to get his family over from overseas, and he took some time off because he went overseas to with his family. Now he's back. He's working. He called me yesterday. We did some lead strategies. One of the things that that we didn't talk about, I just want to mention real quick. In addition, if you're looking for leads immediately, in addition to the aged lead store, we also have access to aged mortgage protection leads, B leads. These are direct mail leads that have been sold once to another agency. Now they're available. I have access to a vendor where I can buy these on the open market. Tendai he spent $500 and he bought 100 of the 3 to 9 month leads up there in the Dallas metro area. This was just yesterday, so I don't have any results yet, but I'm looking forward to finding out what his return on investment is. So if you're looking to be like Jack, and you want to get out there and you want to make some instant results very, very quickly, get with me, get with your mentor, get with your agency manager. Let us help put a strategy together where you can go out and you can go out and make money and get paid before Christmas. And that was just the big point I wanted to make before we ended the call.
Yep. And you know what? If there's any new agents on there, just to make sure that you get paid, make sure you send that application to Joe or your manager so that we can scrub it before you submit it. That way there's no issues and you're not having to run back out and get initials and signatures and stuff like that. So
awesome. Hey, Jimmy, let me flip the call over to you, sir. Why don't you you ran a great call today. Let me give you the privilege of closing us out today.
Well, thank you, Joe. Well, you know, I'm excited, folks. Again, you know, I'm just going to reiterate what Joe just said. There's plenty of time. You saw at the beginning, there's 20 days left till Christmas. Every season, I've seen agents, including myself, run business all the way up to the 24th to Christmas Eve. And run business. And the beauty about this, and if you make sure you tell your clients is that you can schedule that first payment till after Christmas, right? You know, you got 30 days to kick that out. So today's the 4th. Most people that we work with are getting their Social Security on the 3rd of the month. Set it up for January 3rd. And again, with the express pay that we have with Mutual of Omaha, they're going to pay you when the policy issues. So even if that first payment is not till January, you're going to get paid now. So there's no excuse, guys. We have everything in place for you to have a great holiday season. All you got to do is go out there and do the activity. So with that, I'm going to sign off. Y'all have a great weekend. God bless you.
God bless. Thanks, Jimmy. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.